So for the continuation of our discussion, we have now the applications of polynomial functions, and this is the part 2. Ito yung karugtong nung nakaraang session natin, nung isang araw. So we'll talk about the break-even analysis. In business, the number of units at which revenue equal cost is the break-even quantity. Kapag daw ang revenue equal lamang sa cost or directly proportional, we have then a break-even quantity. So pwede nating ma-determine kung ano ba yung quantity na magiging break-even yung ating situation. So yan ang tinatawag nating break-even analysis. Kailangan equal ang revenue sa cost. The corresponding ordered pair is actually the break-even point. And actually, yung cost function, pwede nating isulat ng ganitong equation. Parang straight line din siya. When actually, this is actually a linear function. Break-even analysis, cost function is actually an example or application of linear function. C of x is equals to mx plus b. Ang m dito, ito yung tinatawag nating marginal cost. Sa straight line discussion, ang m is a slope. But in this case, ang function ng m is actually the marginal cost and b as the fixed cost. Sa straight line concept sa analytic geometry, ang b ay yung tinatawag nating y-intercept. Now in this case, we will call it as the fixed cost. So yan ang ating tinatawag na cost function, which is actually also an example of a linear function. Again, I repeat, ang m, tinatawag nating marginal cost at ang b naman ay ang fixed cost. And then c of x is the cost function. Again, since we have the break-even analysis and nasabi ko kanina na ang revenue equal lamang sa cost, pag-usapan muna natin ang ibig sabihin ng revenue. Revenue or R of x from selling x units of a product is the product of the price per unit P and the number of units sold demand x. So i-multiply lang natin ang product at ang number of units na naibenta dahil yon ang demand. So we have P times x as R of x. Yan ang formula na ating gagamitin later on sa ating mga problems na bibigyan ng solusyon. And again, this is again an example of a linear function. R of x equals to P times x, the product of price per unit P and the number of units sold, demand x. Now, of course, we also have the profit or the income. Ito yung kita. Ito yung patubo doon sa ibinentang item or naibentang produkto. Dahil in demand yun, nag-produce tayo and then nakabenta. So ang tawag sa kikitain is income or profit. So kapag profit ang ginamit nating term, we have the P of x. But if it is income, we will use the symbol I of x. Now, it is actually the difference between the revenue and the total cost. Okay? So revenue, correct ko lang yung pagkakatype, ano? So kapag revenue, hindi siya C of x. Yan. Palitan ko lang yung naisulat sa inyo na lecture. So revenue is R of x. And then the cost is C of x. Just like what I've told you kanina, ito yung dalawa. Directly proportional lamang yung revenue sa cost kapag break-even quantity ang pinag-uusapan. Now, I of x is equals to R of x minus C of x. That is the income. Para ma-determine ang income, kailangan kuhanan natin ng difference ang revenue at ang cost. Ngayon, kapag equal ang dalawa, ibig sabihin nun walang income. Tabla lang ang resulta. Kapag kasi equal lang sa puhunan, bumalik uli yung puhunan, ibig sabihin wala ka namang cost na marami. So kapag pinag-subtract yung revenue at saka yung cost, ang makukuha natin is I of x equal to 0. Ibig sabihin, break even lang. Tumabla lang. Okay? So kapag mas mataas ang revenue, ang R of x sa C of x, ibig sabihin may kita. Pero kapag mas mataas ang cost sa revenue, ibig sabihin nalulugi yung business. So ganun lang kasimple yun. Klaro ba anak? Klaro ba ang ibig sabihin ng mga terms na aking nabanggit? So I repeat, kapag revenue mataas sa cost, ibig sabihin may income na papasok sa business. Kapag naman mas mataas ang cost kaysa sa revenue, ibig sabihin mataas ang operational cost. Ibig sabihin nun, nalulugi yung business. Pero kung equal lamang ang revenue at ang cost, yung operating cost na tinatawag natin sa actual, ibig sabihin break even lang. Kasi nga equal lang yung revenue sa cost. So yun ang ibig sabihin ng break even analysis, anak. Klaro ba anak? Klaro ba? So kapag hindi ka kumikita and then hindi ka rin nalulugi, break even lang yon. So let us proceed. So we have an illustrative example. A firm producing poultry feed finds the total cost of X, cost C of X, of producing and selling X units is given by C of X, 1,000X plus 5,000. So ibinigay na kaagad yung fixed cost. Yung 5,000 dito anak is actually the fixed cost. And yung 1,000, ito yung marginal cost natin. So ibinigay na kaagad yung dalawang yan. Now the question here, the peer management plans to charge the 1,200 pesos per unit of the feed. Okay? So from this given equation, ano yung susunod na gagawin natin? Ito yung mga questions na itinatanong sa mga given natin sa ating given problem. How many units must be sold for the firm to break even? Ilan daw yung kailangang mabentang units ng isang company para daw ang result is break even? Kapag break even anak, equal lang ang revenue sa cost. So gano'n lang siya kadali. Now, since gano'n ang ibig sabihin dyan, what do we have to do is to solve first for the cost so that we can do something para maging break-even yan. Alamin muna natin ang cost. Pag nalaman ang cost, parang nalaman na rin natin ang revenue. Kasi nga, kapag break-even, equal lang ang C of X sa R of X. So, ang solusyon natin, ang revenue is R of X and that is equal to 1,200X because we have 1,200. Okay? 1,200 pesos per unit. At ang X is actually unknown. So, hindi pa natin alam ang value ng X. So, ito. Since 1,200 kada isa, ang equation natin is 1,200X. So, yan siya, anak, no? 1,200X. Yan ang ating revenue. Now, since given naman ang ating cost, C of X, 1,000X plus 50, at hindi ba sabi ko kanina, kapag break even, equal lamang yung dalawa. Equal ito sa C of X, equal yung dalawang yan. So, equate natin. R of X equals to C of X. And that's it. Break even works if revenue is equal to cost. That is why we will use this equation. Kapag break even anak, yan ang ginagamit natin. So, anong gagawin ko ngayon? I-equate lang natin ang value ng R of X at ng C of X. Ang value ng R of X is 1,200X. Ang value ng C of X is 1,000X plus 5,000. So if we're going to equate these two values, we will have 1,200X equal to 1,000X plus 5,000. At yan siya, anak. So ito yung unang ginawa natin. Pinag-equate natin yung dalawa. Originally kasi ito yung R of X natin. Yan ang R of X natin. And then yung sumunod naman ay yung ating C of X. Ito ang ating C of X. Eh since ang sabi dito, equal lang yung dalawa, we have equated them. And then ito yung value, in-equate din natin. Yung bawat value ng R of X at ng C of X. So pagka-equate natin, 1,200x equal to 1,000x plus 5,000. Ang isang term na may x ilipat ko ng left. So if we were going to transpose 1,000x to the left, it will change its sign. So magiging 1,200x minus 1,000x equal 5,000. But 1,200x minus 1,000x is 200x. So 200x equals to 5,000. In order to determine the values of x, we need to divide both sides of this equation by 200. So cancel lang 200 sa left. Ang matitira na lang is x is equal to 5,000 over 200. Dividing them, we will obtain a result of 25. Ang ibig sabihin niya, anak, kapag 25 lang ang naibenta mo sa firm, yung mga product na naibenta, break even lang. Kailan ka kikita? Kapag mas mataas dyan, ang naibenta mo, kikita ka na. Pero kapag lumiit dyan, ang naibenta mo, ibig sabihin, baka malugi pa yung company. Dapat maraming maibenta. So, dyan yung portion na tabla lang ang business nung may-ari ng firm. Ibig sabihin, break even lang. Bumalik lang yung puhunan. Nabawi lang. Pero hindi kumita, hindi rin nalugi. So, yun ang ibig ipaiwatig ng problem na nandun dyan, anak. Naintindihan ba natin? Naintindihan ba natin, anak?
Yes po.
Now, kung hirap ng konti sa algebra, if I will show you again my calculator, look at it, anak, no? Pwedeng isolve yan sa calculator lang mabilis. And I'll show you how that happened using the calculator. O, papakita ko, no? So, dito na tayo sa portion na yan. Let me open my calculator first so that you may also know kung paano ba ang pagkukompute ng mabilis gamit ang calculator. So, ipapakita ko yung caltech technique na kailangan mong matutunan. Okay, ito siya, no? Balik ko lang sa taas. So, using this calculator, I'll just type 1,200x equals to 1,000x plus 5,000. So, una, sa left, itatype ko 1,200, then alpha x, alpha calc, teka lang, mode 1 ko muna, yan. Para naka-computer mode ang ating calculator. So, I'll type 1,200. Sumobra yung 0. Yan. Then, alpha x, alpha calc, I'll type 1,000. Then, alpha x ulit. Then, plus 5,000. And then, ang ipapress ko, anak, hindi equal. Ang ipapress ko, shift and then calc. Saka ko palang pwedeng ipress ang equal. Ayun, nakita natin x is equal to 25. So, ganyan kabilis mahanap yung sagot sa problem natin. So, let's go back now to our slide. So, present slide tayo. So, natapos na natin ang letter A question. So, ang ibig sabihin ng conclusion natin, ang firm magiging break-even lang kung makakabenta ng 25 units or the firm break-even by selling 25 units. So, nasagot na natin ang letter A question. So, ganyan ang pagsasolve ng break-even analysis problem. The next. Break-even quantity is actually 25 units at yan ang ating final answer. So, yan ang ating tinatawag na break-even quantity para maging break-even ang firm sa kanyang operation. Now, what would be the profit if 100 units are sold? Definitely, mataas na ang revenue dyan, anak, kaysa sa cost. Let us try to find out kung totoo nga ba na mataas ang revenue kaysa sa cost dyan. Ano daw magiging profit kung 100 units ang naibenta? So let's try to see that. So let us see first the profit or income I sub x, and then the cost C of x. The formula, yung pinakita ko kanina, I of x equals to R of x minus C of x. So dalawa muna yung hahanapin natin. Para ma-determine natin ang kita o ang income o ang profit, kailangan compute muna natin ang ating revenue at ang ating cost. So, substitution lang tayo. Hindi ba ang R of x natin is 1,200x? Going back kanina, ito yung nanak ko. Ito yung equation natin sa R of x. Ito din naman yung sa I of x natin. Pinalitan ko lang yung C of x. Okay? Ito rin yung IX natin. Ang IX natin is actually R of x. Ito siya anak. R of x minus C of x. Yan. So, doon sa second slide natin. So, yan ang ating formula na gagamitin. And then afterward, direct substitution lang tayo. Okay? Actually, may nawawala dito. Lagyan ko lang ng bracket. Yan. So, ganyan yan. So, I of x equals to 1,200x minus 1,000x plus 5,000. So, if we're going to calculate this, ang gagawin lang natin is substitution lang tayo ng 100 units sa mga x's natin. When x is equal to 100, I of 100 is actually equal to 15,000. So, yun ang profit, 15,000. Now, paano ba ginawa yan? Kung direct substitution, ganyan ang calculation natin. But actually, we can do it using a calculator. The profit in selling 100 units of feeds would be 50,000 pesos. 15,000 pesos. So, yun ang kikitain ng company. Yan ang tutubuin niya. Yan ang kanyang magiging income kapag nakabenta siya ng 100 units ng feeds. Ngayon, ipapakita ko yung calculator technique kung paano yan ginawa. Paano bang mabilis sa calculator yan? So again, ang inaanap natin is I of x. Okay? So I'll just type 1,200 and then alpha x minus, yun nga lang, maglalagay na ako ng parenthesis kasi yung buong nasa loob niyan, naka-parenthesis. So I will type 1,000 alpha x. Okay, alpha and then x. But ganun yung type. Pitin ko nga, alpha and then x. Yan. So plus 5,000. Sumobra yung 0. Yan. Balik ulit. Then close. All we have to do is just to press shift calc. You will see then that the result. Teka lang. Di ba dapat pinalitan natin ng 1,000? Di tayo nag-substitute. Okay. Okay, balikan ko lang, no? Ayan. Hindi tayo nag-substitute ng value ng x. So 1,200x minus 1,000x plus 5,000. Kapag ganyan, tinype ko lang yung given anak, no? Ang ita-type ko is calc. Pipindutin ko yung calc. After ko na-type, pindutin ko yung calc. So magtatanong ang calculator, ano daw ang value ng x? Sa given natin is 100. I will type 100. And then I'll press equal. The calculator will give us the result of 15,000. So ayan siya. Nakuha mo ba anak? Ulitin ko siya. Ulitin ko pagta-type para makuha mo.
Nag-text ko po siya, sir.
Okay, okay. Very good. Okay, so let us proceed to the next slide. So yan ang sagot sa letter B. And letter C, how many units must be sold to produce a profit of 45,000? Para daw kumita ng 45,000, ilan ang dapat nating maibenta sa company, sa mga produkto na may meron ng company? Okay, ibig sabihin ang IOPEX natin given. But IOPEX, remember, is always ROPEX minus COPEX. Ang IX natin may value na equal sa ROPEX at ang ROPEX is 1,200x. And then we need to subtract from it ang value ng COPEX, which is equal to 1,000x plus 5,000. So if we will do that, ang IOPEX natin is may value na. Kanina ang hinahanap natin is profit given the number of products sold. Eh naman, given ang profit, pinapahanap kung ilan ba dapat may benta. So yun yung equation natin. It so happened that in this given formula, given ang IOPEX, and that is 45,000. Okay, sinimplify ko lang, no? Bakit naging ganito yung given natin? Bakit 200x minus 5,000? Okay? Kasi nga, anak, yung 1,200, kapag lines mo sa 1,000x, magiging 200 na lang yan. And then, magpapalit lang sa inyong 5,000. Bakit? Kasi yung negative dito, i-distribute ko to each term. Naka-bracket kasi sila eh. So ito magiging negative, ito magiging negative din. But 1,200 minus 1,000x is 200x. That's why we have simplified it. Ito na yung equation natin. Now, IOPEX is already given, that is 45,000. At ayan siya. So yun yung routine ng pagsasolve. Ibig sabihin, kailangan nating makabenta ng 250 items or piece of that product in order for the company to earn a profit of 45,000. Para makakita siya ng income na 45,000, kailangan niya makabenta ng 250 pieces ng produkto. Now, para makita mo siya na kung paano ko siya gawin sa calculator uli, I will show you this entire equation solving for x para makita mo yung kagandahan ng calculator technique. So I'll show you the calculation using calculator. First, I'll type 45,000. Then alpha calc. I'll type 200 alpha x and then minus 5,000. Kinopya lang natin yung equation. So, as it is, ganyan lang siya. Ito siya. So, pipindutin ko yung shape at saka yung calc. Ang magsasolve sa x sa atin ay ang calculator na. And that is why we have 250. Kasi x sa calculator natin, 250 ang ating nahanap. So, ganyan kabilis sa calculator. Unlike sa mano-mano, kailangan alam mo ang yung algebra. Hindi mo dapat nakakalimutang mag-transpose at magpalit ng sign, mag-divide ng coefficient both sides kapag gusto mo makahanap ng literal coefficient value. So, ang value ng x is 250. Ang ibig sabihin nun, sales of 250 units will earn a profit of 45,000 pesos. Doon pa lang kikita ng 45,000. Now, for the application of quadratic, kanina yung problem natin, linear function yun. Kaya ang exponent ng ating mga polynomial function, naka-raise lang sa 1 power. Kaya ngayon, ang ating mga equation dito, quadratic na. Kapag quadratic, ang exponent is laging 2. Laging naka-square ang x natin. Yun ang may pinakamataas na degree na term ng ating polynomial. And make sure na polynomial function talaga yan at nasasatisfy lahat ng mga requirement para matawag ang isang function na isang polynomial function. In the form of f of x equals to ax squared plus bx plus c, ito siya. Ito yung ating tinatawag na quadratic equation. Kung saan ang A, B, and C are real numbers. Ibig sabihin ng real numbers, hindi sila complex numbers. Maaring decimal yan, maaring positive integer yan, maaring whole number yan, maaring counting number yan. Basta real number yan. Kung saan ang A daw kailangan hindi zero. Ano bang ibig sabihin nun? Kailangan ang value nito, yung coefficient ni x square, hindi pwedeng maging zero yan. Dahil kapag naging zero yan, hindi na yan quadratic. Magiging linear function na siya. So bawal at hindi pwede na ang value ng A natin is zero sa isang quadratic function. Dahil kung hindi siya magpa-function as a quadratic, but as a linear. In solving a problem using quadratic function, the formula for the vertex is very important. Kailangan itong mga formula na to, anak, kabisado mo yan. Ito kasi yung pamamaraan para maanap natin ng mabilis ang value ng mga vertex ng ating equation. Kapag yan ay ating binigyan ng sketch of the graph. In this given, ito, mas klaro to, ito yung gamitin mo, anak. Ito yung abscissa, ang value ng x. At ito naman yung ordinate na value ng y. So kapag alam mo ang value ng A ng isang quadratic, ang B at ang C, madali na lang madedetermine ang value ng isang quadratic function. So ito yung mga coordinates natin kapag nag-plot tayo sa Cartesian coordinate system. Now, tandaan lang palagi na kapag ang A is greater than 0 or A is a positive number, sigurado ang parabola opens upward yan. At ang minimum value niya ay yung nasa vertex. Okay? Yung minimum value ay yung nasa baba, yung vertex. Ngayon naman, kapag ang A maliit sa 0, ibig sabihin negative number yan. The parabola opens downward. Okay, ganito ang ibig sabihin dito. Kapag ang A is greater than 0, ang parabola opens upward yan. Dito naman, sa pangalawa, kapag daw ang A is less than 0, ang parabola is opens downward. Ito siya. Downward yung parabola. Dito, ang vertex natin, nandito yung minimum value natin. Sa parabola opens downward naman, ang vertex nandito yung maximum value sa vertex natin. So tandaan, kapag ang value ng A is positive, definitely opens upward yan. Kapag ang value ng A is negative, definitely opens downward ang parabola. Okay? Yung parabola lang na opens upward and downward. Pero kapag ang parabola ay repeat, katulad ng pinag-usapan natin dito, nakaharap ng kaliwa, nakaharap ng kanan, hindi yan mga function. Okay? Hindi sila mga functions. So, hindi rin sila polynomial functions since hindi sila function. Bakit? Dahil hindi pasado ng vertical test analysis. 2 beses kasing dinaanan yung curve ng ating vertical line. So, yun ang tinatawag nating vertical line test. Unlike dito, one time lang. Kaya function sila. So, yan yung ating quadratic function. At yan yung mga formula na gagamitin natin sa paghahanap ng coordinates ng ating vertex kapag yan ay ating na-plot using the Cartesian coordinate system. So, let us try one example. Find the minimum value of the quadratic function. F of x equals to x squared minus 2x plus 4. Okay. So, pinapanap yung minimum value. Actually, may mga 1, 1 yan eh. Ito may 1 yan. Diyan pa lang, alam mo na ang value ng A, 1. Ang value ng B dito, negative 2. Ang value ng C is 4. And that's it. Now, pinapanap yung minimum value ng quadratic function. Here is it. I-analyze natin. Kung papansinin mo yung coefficient ng x squared, positive number. Dahil positive number yan ang A, ibig sabihin ng A, lamang sa 0. A is greater than 0. So that only shows that the parabola is open upward. Just like what I mentioned to you kanina. Kapag lamang ang A sa 0, parabola natin opens upward. Kasi nga ang A is equal to 1 and this is a positive number and this is greater than 0. At ito yan. Now, using the vertex formula, inaalam natin yung vertex. If we're going to compute for the value of the x-coordinate, we will have a value of 1. And for the y naman, we will have a value of 3. Ito actually yung minimum value. Yung point natin. O ba natin anak? Klaro ba? Direct substitution lang siya sa formula, mahanap mo na ang value ng x, mahanap mo na rin ang value ng y. So all you have to do is just direct substitution and then direct typing sa calculator. So this is our example number 1. So the vertex is at 1 and 3. And the minimum value is 3. Yung pinakababa anak. Ito kasi 0, turo ko siya. Di ba ito yung 0? 1, 2, 3. Ito yung 3. Hanapin mo yung minimum value sa ordinate. Ito yon. Okay? Ang movement is upward yan. So dito nagsimula yung curve natin. So ito yung minimum. Ito kasi yung base niya. So pinag-uusapan dito yung height, yung minimum, yung y. So y is equal to 3. And definitely the minimum value is 3. Okay? Ito yung pinakababa kasi. So yan lang ang tanong sa example number 1. So let us proceed to the second problem. Find the maximum value of the quadratic function. Sa tanong pa lang alam na natin na parang parabola opens downward din Okay, wait lang anak, may tawag lang no. Okay, let's continue. So this is our equation. Tingnan mo anak. Negative x squared plus 4. Hindi pa tayo nakakalculate. Ano ang value ng a dyan? Diba ito yung x squared natin? Ano ang value ng a ngayon? Ano ang value ng b at ano ang value ng c? Diba kanina sabi ko, f of x is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. Kung i-compare ko ito dito, ang a may value at ito yan, negative 1. Ang c may value at ito yon 4. Pero ang b wala. Ibig sabihin ang value ng b 0. Ang c may value and that is 4. Ang a may value negative 1. Pero hindi ba sabi kanina doon sa diskusyon natin, kapag ang a mas maliit sa 0, ang negative 1, di ba, less than 0? So, ibig sabihin niyan, ang parabola natin, ang quadratic function natin, is opens downward. Based from the concepts na ipinakita ko sa iyo kanina, anak. Yun ang turo ng inyong guro sa inyong module. So, dapat tinatandaan natin yung mga concept na ganyan. So, ito yun actually. Balik ko lang ng konti. Ito yun. Yung pinakababa. If a is less than 0, kailan ba nagiging less than sa 0 ang a kapag negative yung value? So, yun siya. Since a is less than 0, the parabola is opens downward and there is a maximum value. Yung pinakataas, saan mo hanapin sa taas? Siyempre, doon sa y. Yung value ng ordinate. I think the maximum value here is 4. Let us try to see. Yan. So una, alamin muna natin ang x at saka y. Coordinate ng ating vertex. So we have calculated the value for abscissa is 0 and the ordinate is 4. So we can have 0 and 4 sa taas. Ayun. So sa 0 and 4, ang maximum value is actually the 4. Yung y. Yan. The vertex is at B, 0 and 4 and the maximum value is 4. So kapag opens downward, tandaan lang lagi yan ha. Usually lagi lang tinatanong ngayong maximum value at yun ang y. Kapag opens upward dyan, definitely ang value ng a is positive. At definitely ang tatanong dyan is the minimum value. So that is example number 1 and number 2 now. Now let us have illustrative example number 3. Now I will explain the solution of your teacher by this time. Here, dito sa problem na yan. Sabi dito, ang sum daw ng dalawang number is 100. Okay? So the sum of two numbers is 100. Let me explain it to you. Now, if this is their sum, and this is the first number, the x. So this is the first number. Okay? Yan ang first number natin. So if this is the first number, what do you think is the second number? Pwede ko rin sabihin y is the second number. Second number. Yan. So kapag sinabing the sum of two number, x plus y. At ang sum nila, 100. Okay? So since iniiwasan natin na magkaroon ng dalawang variable, dito no, kailangan na isa lang variable na gagamitin natin. Dito, dalawang variable lang pinakita ko. Now, ano yung gagawin ko? Para mahanap ko yung dalawang number na x lang ang gagamitin kong number. So, look at it. If the other number is x, yeah, this is the first number. And the second number, I think the second number is 100 minus x. Kasi ito yung target natin na makuha eh. Kung yan ang dalawang number, kung bakit yan ang naging number natin, no, x and 100 minus x. Kapag ginat yung dalawang yan, x plus 100 minus x, ang positive x at ang negative x cancel lang. So 100 pa rin. So ganyan lang ang ibig sabihin niya. Now let us proceed to the problem now para mas klaro sa iyo anak. So kailangan na biyasa tayo sa pagko-convert ng mga statement sa mathematical statement. And then biyasa tayo sa pagko-formulate ng mga formula. So yun yung ibig kong tukuyin kanina. Now if x is the first number and the other number is 100 minus x, definitely their sum is 100. But it was also mentioned here, we have to express the product p of the two numbers as a function of x. And how is that? So we will use p as the product of two numbers. So kapag binag-multiply ko daw yung dalawang number na yan, ang x at ang 100 minus x, ang sagot is p. And ito yan. So p of x now is equal to x times 100 minus x. So yan ang ating mathematical model na na-create. Kasi nga ang product daw ng dalawa equal sa product ng dalawang numbers. So that is our p of x function. Now since we already have the model, I think kailangan pinapahanap eh. Okay? To create a model. And the model that we have created is P of x equals to x times 100 minus x in this given illustrative example number 3. Now let us have illustrative example number 4. Find two numbers whose sum is 10 and whose product is maximum. Ano daw yung dalawang number na kapag ginad natin is 10, pero ang product nila is actually the maximum. Actually, sa mano-mano, pwedeng gawin yan eh. Ano ba yung mga numbers na pwede kang makakuha ng sum na 10? 1 and 9, 8 and 2, 5 and 5, 6 and 4, di ba? And so on, so forth. Now, kapag pinag-multiply natin ang mga number na yun, yung pinakamataas ang product, yun ang maximum. But how are we going to do that nang hindi tayo nagta-trial and error? Let x be the first number and the other number is 10 minus x. Very basic. Di ba 10 ang sum? Kung ang unang number is x, pangalawa is 10 minus x. Similar yan sa kanina. Because if we're going to add these two numbers, makakancel lang ang dalawang x, matitira ang 10. So definitely ang sum ng dalawa is 10. Now if we're going to determine the product, which is actually the maximum, so we will just equate or formulate an equation. Ito yung mapoformulate nating equation. The P of x is equal to x times 10 minus x. Ito yung nasa baba. Ito yun, anak. Pinag-multiply lang natin ang dalawa, ang x at ang 10 minus x, kasi ito yung product of two numbers, which is also the P of x. And then applying algebra, we can distribute x to each term of 10 minus x. Multiply ko ang x sa 10, multiply ko ang x sa negative x, that is why we have this. So P of x now is equal to negative x squared plus 10x. At kung isa-solve natin, yan, okay? Since this is a quadratic function, whose graph is opens downward. Bakit opens downward? Kasi negative 1 na yun, anak ko. Yung negative x squared, ang a niya negative 1. So definitely downward yan. So ang value ng a is negative 1, ang c is 0, at ang b naman is 10. Ito kasi yung b. Yung una, ito yung a. Ito yung b. And then c is actually 0. Now, madali lang hanapin yung dalawang numbers dyan. Okay? Hanapin lang natin ang value ng x. And how's that? So we have to calculate for the vertex x and y. X is 5. Assuming nakapag-substitute tayo sa negative b over 2a. And then y is 25. So we have 5 and 25. As the coordinates of our parabola opens downward. So ibig sabihin ng maximum value dyan is I think 25. Diba? Maximum value is 25 kasi downward siya. Kapag plinat natin yan, ang vertex is 5 and 25. So that's why is equal to 25 as the maximum. Ito yung maximum natin, anak. Yan. Kung ano yung lumilitaw na ordinate. Basta ordinate siya, tandaan ang sikreto ito. Ito rin yung pagko-compute ng minimum. Kung ang parabola mo is opens upward. So, gano'n lang kadali kapag parabola, kapag quadratic. Usually, ang laging tinatanong lang dyan is the maximum value and the minimum value at saka yung mga coordinates. And then, of course, kailangan marunong kang gumawa ng mathematical model. Just like what we did kanina. Then, you go back to the original function. Okay, P of x equals to x times 10 minus x. We'll try to find out. Ito siya. If we will come back or go back to the original function, P of x equals to x times 10 minus x. Since the product is a maximum, equate x times 10 minus x to 25 doon sa maximum value. Equate daw natin. And that's it. Malalaman natin ang value ng mga x natin. Okay? And in order for you to see this solution, Okay? X squared minus 10x plus 25. Bakit x equals to 5? Paano ba yung mabilis? Di ba kanina, ito yan eh. In-equate ko sa 25. X times 10 is 10x. X times negative x is negative x squared equal 25. And then, kung ililipat ko ang negative x squared sa right, at ang 10x sa right, magiging 25 plus x squared minus 10x equals 0 yan. And if you will try to see this, ito rin yun. So we have now a quadratic trinomial. Now, ang pinakita dito is factoring. Actually, yung x squared minus 10x plus 25, this is from the perfect square trinomial, PST. Tawag sa factoring type na ginawa dito is perfect square trinomial. That is why, na factor x minus 5 and x minus 5 is equal to 0. Ang x minus 5 times x minus 5, ito rin yun. Yung x squared minus 10x plus 25. And then, using two columns, yung x minus 5 na unang factor, equate ko sa 0. And then, transpose ko ang 5. We can determine x as a root is equal to 5. And then the other x minus 5 to be equated also by 0. Transposing 5 to the right, we can have x equals to 5. So therefore, the two numbers that we're looking for are both 5. 5 and 5. Pero anak, mayroong mabilis na paraan dyan. Papakita ko, no? Sa calculator technique. Now, having this calculator of mine, okay, mode 1 ko muna para mag-0, 0. Laging mino-mode 1 ko para ma-repress ang calculator. Now, ito yung equation, x squared minus 10x plus 25 is equal to 0. Meaning dito, ang value ng a is 1, negative 10, and 25. 1 ang value ng a natin because of the x squared. Ang b is negative 10, ang c is 25. Now look at it. I'll just type this, mode 5, and then I'll press 3. Mode 5, 3 lang. So pagka-type ko ng mode 5, 3, eto, magtatanong ang value ng A, ang calculator, ang ilalagay ko is 1. And then I'll press equal. Ano daw ang value ng B? So ang value ng B dito is negative 10. I'll type negative 10. And then I'll press equal. Ano daw ang value ng C? That is 25. I'll press 25. And then equal. Ang unang x natin is 5. At ang pangalawang x is also 5. Kapag isa lang yung pinakita, ibig sabihin parehong 5 ang sagot. Kahit dalawa ang pinapaanap na roots. Pareho lamang 5 ang sagot dyan. Magpapakita ng dalawang x value ito kapag dalawa talaga ang root na nakitang makaiba. Pero dito, consider na dalawa ang root pero parehong 5. So yan ang pamamaraan ng pagkakalculate ng value ng x. Now, there's another term of determining the value of x by typing this entire equation. Look at it, anak, no? Mode 1 ko uli. So I'll just type alpha x and then square plus, minus siya, minus 10, I'll type alpha x and then plus 25. Alpha calc and then I'll press 0. So na-type ko yung equation. So pipindutin ko lang is shift calc. Let us see kung ipapakita ng calculator ang 5. And that's it, 5 pa rin. So there are so many ways to solve for the values of x or the roots of the given quadratic. Tandaan, kapag quadratic, dalawa ang sagot. Okay, but definitely ito dapat gamitin mo na mode 5, 3. Dalawa ang ipapakitang sagot dyan. Kapag isa lang na pinakita, ibig sabihin, dalawa pa rin yan, para walang ng value. So, ganun lang siya kasimple. So, that is our example sa quadratic. So, ayan kung paano nakuha ang 5 and 5. Now, let us have this. the pre-pol. Actually, this is already P6. One of the direct application of quadratic function has something to do with pre-polling bodies. It was Galileo Galilei from 1564 to 1642 who observed that all bodies near the Earth fall toward the Earth with the same acceleration, and that a body in pre-pol descends. The distance y is equals to 1 half gt square. So tandaan mo lang yung formula na to, anak, no? Ito yung height na kung paano naulog yung object from a certain point to another point kung saan nalaglag yung object. Yan yung, kumbaga sa horizontal motion, yan yung displacement. Yan yung iginalaw ng object. Yun yung nilakbay ng object pababa. So in order to determine that, 1 half gt square. Ang t, ito yung time. Halimbawa, naulog sa loob ng 3 segundo ang object. Constant ang gravity na 9.8 meter per second square. So direct substitution. From a certain point, ito siya, anak, no? From a certain point above, halimbawa, ito yung object. Dito nang galing yung object. Sa point na yan. Sa taas. Release. So, halimbawa, from here up to this point, nakalakbay ang object ng 2 segundo. 2 seconds. Ano yung sinusolve natin? Ito yung distansyang y. Yan yung y. And in order for us to solve for that, substitute lang dito yung time na 2 seconds and then yung gravity value na 9.8 meter per second sa g. We can then have the value for y. And besides, that is just approximate value, yung 9.8. Okay? Neglecting air resistance kapag inulog mo yung object. Hindi na pinag-uusapan muna dito yung air resistance. So kahit may epekto yon, neglect na muna natin. I also teach physics kasi. Okay. So application. A ball is thrown from the top of a 144 feet building. Okay? Tinapon daw yung bola mula sa taas ng building na may taas na 144 feet. The ball follows a trajectory. Yung trajectory, ito yung dadaanan ng projectile. Yung bola. Ang bola dito, ang tawag dyan, projectile. Always remember that, anak. Ang ball is the projectile, yung object. Yung ball, ito yung object. Tawag natin dyan, projectile. Projectile. Okay. Pang ilang sulat ko. Okay, ganito yung projectile. Kung ito yung ball, inaagis pataas, yan. And then, bumalik muli sa lupa, yan. Parang nagbabalibol ka lang. Yung pathway na to, yung dadaanan ng bola, yun ang trajectory. Yung mismong bola, yan ang projectile para mas klaro. Okay? So, erase ko lang para malinis yung kwaderno natin, yung screen natin. Ayun. How high did the ball reach nung itinapon? How long did it take to reach that maximum height? Gaano daw katagal ang hintayin para ma-reach ng bola ang kanyang maximum height? Nasaan na daw ang bola after ng 5 seconds? Ngayon, gaano daw katagal ang hintayin para ma-reach ng ball ang ground para bumalik ulit sa lupa? Okay, so this is it. Actually, I have a video for this that I will show to you. Yung concept talaga ng pre-polling bodies para maintindihan mo siya ng todo. Kaya lang, ang concept ko pang physics, pero maintindihan mo siya. Malalaman mo talaga, makikita mo doon yung polynomial function, yung quadratic. Okay, let's start first with the letter A. How high did the ball reach? Ganyan yung figure natin. So, ganyan yung figure. So, inagis niya, no? Yan, inagis niya. So, the maximum height, kapag inalam natin yan, that will be 64t minus 16t squared. Kasi binigay na yung equation na yun, no? The quadratic function natin, the function of time when solving for the height, is 64t minus 16t squared. Now, if you will just try to take a look at it. Ito yung bola, no? Actually, ang pagkatapon ng bola, pag ganito, na. Ayan, ulitin ko, no? Explain ko siya. Nung tinapon niya ang bola, pag ganito ang formation niya. Wala ito yung bola, pag ganyan siya. Pa-curve. Pa-curve muna. So, parabola downward siya. Okay? Parabola downward. Bakit parabola downward? Kung kanina x ang ginagamit natin ngayon, t. Ang t naka-square. Ang coefficient niya, negative 16. So, dyan pa lang, alam mo na ang value ng a, negative 16. And then, ang b natin is 64. Eh, walang c, 0 siya. Okay? How high is the voltage? So, yan ang tanong. So, paano natin yan bibigyan ng katugunan ngayon? Hindi ba ang height ng building is 144 feet? So, I'll show you. Since a is negative, then the parabola opens downward. It has a maximum value. We can then actually calculate for the vertex. At ayan yan. So, kinompute ko yung x at saka yung y. Ang nakuha ko sa y is 64. So, ibig sabihin, may maximum height na tayo. Okay? 64 feet. The maximum height reached by the ball is 64 feet from the top of the building. So, yun ang maximum height na na-reach niya nung iniagis nung bata yung bola. So, that's the answer for letter A. And then, question B, how long did it take to reach the maximum height? Y is equals to 64. 2h of t is equals to 64t minus 16t squared. Since y is 64, ang h of t natin is 64. Substitution lang tayo. Ito siya, yung h of t, 64. So, we do it direct substitution, we can have the value for the time now. Dalawang t minus 2 yan. Kung pansinin mo, anak, sinimplify ko siya, no? Ito siya. And then, naging t squared minus 4t plus 4. Actually, this is a perfect square trinomial. Perfect square trinomial yan. Perfect square trinomial, a type of factoring. So, ang dalawang yan, kapag in-equate ko sa 0, ang value na makukuha natin ng t, dalawa. Parehong t is equals to 2. Alin man ang piliin mo, t is equals to 2. And in fact, kaya ito ang gamitin mo kahit na hindi mo na-simplify ng ganito, mag-arrive ka pa rin sa sagot na t is equal to 2. I'll show you. I'll use both equations to solve for the value of the time. Okay, and show ko muna siya. Discard ko muna. Okay, ito yan. So, ang sagot 2 seconds, but I'll show you how to calculate using a calculator. It should be better for you to master the use of your calculator. Yan, 16t squared. Mode 1 ko muna, no? Okay, mode 5-3 pa rin. 5-3. O una type ko 16. Ito kasi ang A eh. Equal ko siya. Pangalawa type ko negative 64 dahil ang B is negative 64. Equal ko ulit. And lastly, we have 64. I'll type 64. You will see that the value of t or x is equal to 2. Ayan. Isa lang ipapakita niya kasi para wala nga sagot eh. Yan. Now, let us try using this, yung nakasimplify. Dito ka lang sapat din. Basta alam mo calculator, makukuha mo ng mabilis yung time. Hindi mo na kailangan dumaan ng prosesong ganito. Pero dapat alam mo pa rin yan. Okay? So, t squared minus 40 plus 4. So, let me do that. Again, mode 5-3. The value of A here is 1. I'll press equal. The value of B is negative 4. I'll press negative 4, then equal. And C is equal to 4. I'll press 4 and then equal. Isang equal pa, X is equal to 2. So, ganun lang nakuha ang sagot na 2 sa ating given problem na yan. So, nasagot na natin yung dalawang questions. Now, let us proceed to the next slide. Where is the ball after 5 seconds? So, yan ang solusyon na ipinakita ng yung kaguruan, no? 8 of t, 64t minus 16t square. Substitute 5 to time. Inaalam kasi yung height after 5 seconds. So, ang time naman ang papalitan, ang 8 of t naman ang ating inaanak. So, 8 of 5 then, pwede na nating i-calculate. Negative 80 daw. Okay? Bakit negative 80? That only shows that the ball is below the top of the building after 5 seconds. So, 80 feet below, pababa. Take note, walang height na negative. Ipinakita lang kung saan ang posisyon ng ball nasa ibaba ng building. 80 feet below the top of the building. So, yun ang ibig sabihin ng negative. Pero, walang height na negative. So, all we have to do is just to neglect the sign of negative. Now, in order to do that, using the calculator, look at it, anak, no? So, kunwari, yan, itatype ko, no? Ipagpalagay na natin na ang h of t dito ay ang naanap natin, kunwari, palitan ko ang variable na h of t, gawin ko siyang y, no? And then, yung time, gawin kong 64x. Look at it. And then, minus 16 x squared. Okay? Kunwari, inaanap ko yung y. Okay, I'll type it. I'll type this one. I'll show you another tip using the calculator. Okay, tandaan mo yung mga tips na ibinibigay ko sa calculator, anak. Mapapakinabangan mo yan sa mga calculations ninyo kapag may exam kayo. Ito. So una, mode 1 ko muna. So type ko na yung y para may iba naman. Alpha y, alpha calc, ang hinahanap natin dito yung h of 5 o yung y, yung height natin. So y is equal to 64. Since walang t, papalitan ko siya ng x, alpha x, minus 16, alpha x, and then square. Yan, y is equal to 64x minus 16x square. Anong pipindutin ko? Calc. Ang calculator magtatanong ng value ng x. Ang value ng x natin is 5. I'll just type 5 and then press equal. Now, we already have the value for y, which is negative 80. Ganyan siya kabilis. I-type mo lang yung ito. Okay? Ang gagawin lang natin, yung h magiging y, yung t magiging x. Kung ano yung inaanap, yun ang nasa left. Kung ano yung mapalitan, yun yung nasa right. Okay, I'll show you again our slides. So, ito lahat yung mga modules na ibinigay na inyong guro, no? So, for the question D, how long will it take for the ball to hit the ground? Kano tayo kasagal ang itain para ang bola ma-reach na yung ground? So, again, this is the equation. By the way, ang bola ma-reach ang ground kapag ang final velocity niya. Okay, ang final velocity, nung re-release ang bola sa taas ang velocity 0. Anyway, wala namang velocity pinag-uusapan dito eh. Time and height lang. So, equate ko lang yan sa 0. Ito, no? I will just equate it to 0. Ganyan ang diskarte. Okay? Pag na-equate ko yan sa 0, t squared minus 4t is equal to 0. And then, this must be factor. Anong ginawa dito? Factoring. Anong klaseng factoring? Common monomial factor. Parehong may t yan. Originally, ganito yan eh. T times t is t squared. Ito yon. And then minus 4t. Now, sasaklungin ko. Ano yung parehong meron? Pareho silang may tig-isang t. Then afterward, ang pareho nilang meron, i-factor out ko. T. So dahil na-factor out ko na ang parehong meron sila, ang matitira na lang sa loob, t minus 4. So that is factoring. And then equate it to 0. Ang unang value ng t is 0. Equate mo lang yun doon. Pero ang pangalawa, ang t minus 4. Kapag in-equate mo yan sa 0, ang value ng t is positive 4. Yan. I think ito yung makukuha ang sagot. Makita ko siya. Time is equal to 4. It took 4 seconds. Okay? Now, I just want you to see kung bakit 4. Subukan ko siya na i-type ko itong equation na yan. 16t squared minus 64t is equal to 0. And then let us try to solve for x. I'll show it to you again. Para malakas ang kumpiyansa mo kapag nag-exam kayo. Ito. 16 alpha x squared. Teka lang, balik to yata. Unahin ko yung 64 muna. Ito pala siya ito. 16 alpha x squared. Ito yung 16t squared. Minus 64 alpha x. And then alpha cal, alpha 0. All you have to do is just to press shift cal and then equal. You will see that x is equal to 4. Thus, it took 4 seconds to hit the ground. So, ganyan lang ang dating ng ating given problem. Sa ibinigay na module ng inyong kaguruan sa University of the East. Now, next. So, ito yung mga practice na ibinigay sa inyo ng inyong guro na kailangan mong tuptin anak, pag-aralan mong maigi. Kapag meron kang tanong, pwede mo akong i-chat. Huwag kang maiiya sa akin. Okay? Para na rin kitang anak, no? Huwag ka nang maiiya sa akin, anak. Tulungan naman kita. Lalo na malapit na yung sem break namin. Now, for the evaluation, ito yung sinabi ng inyong guro. Please refer to questions given in our Google form. Just type your answer and do not share it with your classmates. Okay, next. So, may oral task kayo at saka written task. Okay, how relevant is this topic in my life? Okay. What new concept and skills did I learn? Maybe you've learned a lot by using the calculator techniques. Okay. And then you've encountered different styles of computations. Okay, ano pa? Relevant is this in business. Malalaman mo kung kailan ka nagiging break-even. Malalaman mo kung kailan ka kumikita. Malalaman mo rin kung kailan ka nalulugi. Okay, in what part of the topic did I experience difficulty? Definitely algebra yan. Kapag hindi mo talaga kabisado ang algebra, mahihirapan ka ng mano-mano sa mga equations, sa mga solving problems mo. Pero kung sanay ka, lagi ka nagpa-practice, hindi na magiging mahirap yun masyado. Okay, what will I remember the most in this topic? Okay. Was there something that challenged you to improve your performance? Definitely meron yan, anak. Kailangan ma-challenge ka sa algebra. Napaka-importante ng algebra. Very fundamental ito sa isang nag-aaral ng different mathematics subject. Actually, ito yung pinaka-foundation natin. Thank you and God bless you, anak. So, stop recording ko muna siya.